any doubt come up or anything you want to say, okay, you are feel free to ask questions, okay, so that this session will be more um, comfortable, okay, for all of. So what actually is Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations, okay, and what actually is a functional training and what is the technical part of it, okay. So let's go to the history of this Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations. There are two particular products. Earlier it was named as Exapta, okay. So Exapta is a system based software, okay. So you have to install everything on your machine, and then from there it uh, from there the users are going to use it, okay. So it is basically, you can say, on-premise version of a software, okay. And the last version which came on the on-premise was AX 2012 R2, okay. After that everything was moved to cloud, and right now we have two types of products, okay. We call it as D365 Finance and Operations, FO. Under it you can install it on the on cloud version, you can use the on cloud version, or you can use the on premise as well, okay. If you use the on premise, the SQL command and everything will be to you, and if there is any update required, that will be done by the client only, okay. So you, on the on premise version, any updates are required, that will be handled by the client. SQL, the access of SQL will be there with the client, okay. And for any customization, everything will be done on premise only, okay. But it is handled via LCS, so LCS will be common. So LCS is a Lifecycle Services. It is a website. I will tell you, I will go into it and will tell you, okay. So these are the things. But if you go for on cloud, SQL will be with Microsoft, okay. For any customization, that will be done by LCS only, okay. And SQL access will with them, and updates will be handled by Microsoft, okay. They will give you a downtime, and after that all your environment will be upgraded, okay. So now what actually is D365 or what is Exapta, है ना? So we have a concept called ERP in the computer science. What actually is ERP? Whenever you do a business, so at that time, let's say for example, there are we four are there right now, and we want to start our business. So how our business will start? Our business will start. We will put some funds into our system. Okay. Let's say for example, we want to do a trading business. Okay. So in this trading business, what is the minimum requirement? Minimum requirement is we three put in some amount, and we four are there. So we four put some amount, let's say 1 lakh each we have kept, and it now came up to 4 lakh rupees. For 4 lakh rupees we started to purchase something. We purchased, let's say for example, we purchased few refrigerators, okay. And for in 4 lakh we can get around 50,000 each, so we have got 8 refrigerators. Now 8 refrigerators has some profit margin in it, and when we sold it, when we sell 8 of the refrigerators, let's say for example, on each refrigerator we have earned around 10,000 of rupees, okay, 10k. So with this 10k, approximately it come up to 8 refrigerator, 80k is our profit. Now 80k is our profit. The profit should be divided into all four of us, and it will be given to 20k. Now this is business, है ना? So but when the transactions become huge, okay, and multiple people come into the business, at the time we need to have some software. We need to maintain everything in the software, okay. So how we maintain it, that is called as ERP system. In ERP, what is the major things you will get in ERP? In any of the ERP, let's say for example, you are using SAP, or you are using Info, or you are using Business Central, which is a Dynamics product only, or you are using Oracle, okay, or you are using D365 finance and operations. So what actually these softwares are providing you. What is the basic tool for you? The basic tool comes over here is you are able to manage all your application within one domain, within one software. That's why ERP systems are more right now coming to the more getting what we can say more. Let's say for example, one more example I will give. We have implemented in 2017 in India. We came up with a GST part, and in 2016 itself, but in 2017 it came up as a mandatory thing. So what happens in GST? So in with GST, before GST also there were softwares, there were tax getting deducted, but now everything is coming to GST, so that whatever the taxation part is there, such all the taxation can be reported directly to the government's website. After that, after the GST, you might have listened very nominal thing that the e-invoicing, you know, various e-invoicing softwares are there. They are providing they are going to do the invoicing. So from where this concept is coming up, so what actually ERP system helps you out? ERP system helps you in various domains. Okay, they provide you with a different applications. So I will tell you. Hmm. Let's say for example, we are one second. I will give you one website. Let's go to one website first, then from there we will come. Trials.dynamics.com. Yes. And so trials.dynamics.com. On this particular website, you will get everything, whatever the products are there for with the Microsoft, everything will come under one domain. And one thing is common, which is D365, 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 right? So why it is important? Wow. So on this particular format, one second, just. Hmm. So Microsoft has various applications. So one is your ERP application and one is your CRM application. Why I am telling you this is because when you start working with the domain, okay, you might be having few products like D365 FO, then there is a D365 BC, Business Central, then there is D365 for sales, D365 for customer insights, then there is few things called D365 finance, D365 cost, project operations. All these things are there, and you will see that this D365 is common in everything. Okay, so the only product which is differing all the products is your the last keywords. So you go over here now. What I just want to say ki whatever comes to you in terms of other than finance and operations, and one more will be there, which is the business central. Okay, this is the one, Dynamics System of Business Central. These are the two ERP systems. Okay, and everything other than this comes under one umbrella of CRM. Means what is a CRM? CRM is also a part of the means it is basically a customer relationship management tool. You know, and under the customer relationship management we have several different products coming up. Right now we are going to focus on the Dynamics 365 finance and operations. Yeah. It came in Microsoft acquired this product in 2000 and they call it with AX 22.0, and till 2.0 5.0 came up, and after that the stable version came up in AX 2009, and after that after AX 2009 we came up with AX 2012 R2. Okay, and R2 or R3, I think R2 is there, release 2, okay, which is a stable product. And after that, in 2016, they came up with this new product itself, which is D365 Finance and Operations. Okay, and now everything is on the cloud. If user want to manage it, they can manage it within on cloud also or the on premise also. But 90% of the cases wherever you will go, the product will be on cloud only. Okay, you can manage it on premise also, that is not a problem. Now coming to the one more website, which is your Lifecycle Services. I will go to the Lifecycle Services now, lcs.dynamics.com, and you will sign in. Whenever a new client comes up to you, okay, what type of work you will get in D365 finance and operations also. So there are two type of rules. Okay, one, in the ERP system you will have separate different modules. Either you go with Joho, or either you go with any of the uh, right now coming up in the market. Okay, so ERP system comes with few standard processes. Okay, so like order to cash is a standard process. Then you will have your procure to pay is your standard process. Then project operations is a standard process. Okay, so every ERP system will be having one standard process which will match the business up to, I can say, 60 to 70% of the matches will be there. Okay, but other than this 60 to 70%, that we need to customize. And for different ERP system, the customization code will be different, the language will be different based on the product on which it is designed. Okay, so 60 to 70% it came up. Now ERP system, the major will be finance, another will be supply chain management, SCM, then it another will be manufacturing. Okay, so all these modules are there in D365 as well. I will show you in the environment also. Okay, so under the finance we are going to see the GL module, we are going to see the AP module, accounts payable, accounts receivable module. These are the modules we are going to see. Cash and bank management module. Okay, then fixed asset module. So these are the different modules are there. Now when you come to the ERP system, hmm, let's say I will go now to LCS. Yeah, I was telling about the type of projects you will have in your domain, and what is functional and what is technical. So functional, which we are learning right now, is all about the business. Okay, business knowledge and the product knowledge. These two things you should have, है so business knowledge, you will get business knowledge from different domains, like learning through the case studies, how you have implemented, what type of products, pre-sales, majorly the pre-sales. From the pre-sales you will get the business knowledge, and the product knowledge we are going to see now. Okay, we are going to see the standard process, whatever it, how you can, when a new business comes up to you, how you deliver it to the client, how, what are the standard processes are there. And one major part of the functional role is your knowing the fit gap. How much is the fit and how much is the gap from the business requirement. Fit means what exercise, what domain you can, or what the business requirement you can manage within the ERP system itself. And what is the gap, that the gap will be fulfilled by the code via the different developers. Okay, so functional and technical. So once you give the functional requirement, once you have not, analyzed the functional requirements from your business, then you will give some technical, uh, that, let's say for example, one field is required or one new business process is required. That part will be handled by the technical domain, technical people in the system. Okay, so we are majorly focusing on the functional domain. There are three types of projects you will receive in your day-to-day career. One is your implementation project. Under the implementation project, a client will be there which is either coming to D365 as a fresh, and another one will be the support project, which is your, with the, either the product is coming from uh, the user is already using D365 finance and operations, and they want to take support in day-to-day activities. Okay, implementation support. And one is your upgrade project. Upgrade project means the user is already using AX 2009 or AX 2012 R2 and you want to upgrade the product to D365 for finance and operations. Okay, so what are the things we will cover in the system, that I will share a different a separate topic wise list and the date wise list also to you. Okay, and then we will start with our classes. Now coming to the part is LCS. What is LCS? LCS is the starting stage of your project. Okay, whenever a new project comes up, let's say for example there is a we want to implement our project for, let's say, uh, Coke. Okay, Coke India. So Coke is, you know, Coke, the head office of Coke is in US. Okay, and from US they have different branches. They have France, they have India, they have Australia. Okay, so different countries are there, you know. Each country will have different taxation system. Okay, France will have a different taxation system. There we take it as VAT, and over India it is GST. In Australia also it is GST. In US it is VAT, sales tax and VAT as well, so such type of things are there. It is more correlated with the product. Okay, so D365 can handle all the type of taxes. Okay, and it is available in 209 countries of the world. Okay, so now you can see the how much you can learn from the system and how much you can support your client as well. So whenever a new client is need to be acquired, at that time we create a project under the LCS. Okay, so under the all projects you will create a project for your client. Okay, and it is coming Microsoft Dynamics now because the part mm, LCS is taken for the free domain. Okay, and that's why. But if you go to the customer website, uh, your you will get your all the product as well, है ना? Now once you have the LCS पे आने के बाद में हम क्या करते हैं, जैसे ही आप LCS पे आओगे वहां से आप you will onboard your client, है ना? Once you onboard your client, what will happen, you will create a project, and under the project you will get all your VMs, your development VMs, and your functional environment also. So the environment will look like this, similar to, if I go over here, you will see a link. You will get a link from LCS, and on the LCS you will majorly going to see all the modules. Okay, so let's navigate to the product right now and see how it works. Till yet, any doubt you have, any questions, any query you have?
No, please carry.
Okay, thank you. Meanwhile, it's getting open. I will tell you a few more things. So right now, what we have covered what actually is an ERP system. ERP is the enterprise resource planning software where we will get all the modules. We get a finance module, means, and from the finance we get for a business. Let's say for example we are doing some purchases, so we will get the purchase module, and then what purchases we are going to do, we will purchase some items. So item, then we are going to, on for this item we are going to sell also. Okay, and then we are going to track our profit also. Then in case this product is going to be manufactured, so you can capture your manufacturing also. So in the in the manufacturing you will have your raw material, and so everything you can manage within a ERP system. Types of ERP system, the products in the market which are available for the ERP system is Oracle is there, the Oracle Fusion we call it. Then we have Infor, which is a separate ERP system. Then we have Zoho also, which is an ERP system. D365 Finance and Operations, and BC Business Central comes under your ERP domain. And SAP is one of the major partner with in the inside the ERP domain. Then we have what we have gone through is your how you will recognize what type of product, because there are so many products in the market within the D365 domain, है ना. So D365 you need to focus on the FO, finance and operations, which is a enterprise level ERP system, and one is your D365 BC, which is your mid-size ERP system. Okay, so whenever somebody asks you what actually is ERP system, ERP products provided to you within Microsoft D365 product domain, so you will see there are two ERP systems. We are going to focus on the FO, finance and operations. Okay, this is a very basic questions, because whenever a client comes up to you, they don't know which product means. It gets very confusing for the users also. See, the free trial, under the free trial only we have so many products, so how will you identify where, which is an ERP system? So other than the finance and operations and business central, everything is CRM. Okay, so let's say for example this is your environment. Under this environment you will have your separate all the modules over here. So we have accounts payable module, accounts receivable module, asset management, audit, budgeting, cash and bank. Okay, so all these modules are there. Then you have your favorite section. If I mark, let's say for example, we will start our discussion, we will start our working with the ledger form. Okay, so ledger form we are going to work on a daily basis. So if you mark it a star over here, it will automatically come under the favorites. Okay, and then you need not to go to modules, you will simply come on the favorites and you will mark it. Don't worry, means what are the modules, what type of modules, what we are going to cover, everything I will tell you in detail as well. Just it is a navigation for the product. Okay, so if then you have a recent form, whatever the forms I have opened in the past, those first 10 part first 10 pages will come over here in the recent. There is a workspace. Inside the workspace, if you go to the workspace, let's say for example there is a expense management. On this workspace you will get overall overview of it. Okay, it doesn't have any data, so let me check for few other ones. Sales order, processing. Or then if it is not there, I will go to the vendor information also. Okay, so let's go to vendor information workspace. So on the workspace form you will get everything related to your vendor. Okay, or we have, you can create your workspace as well, but it will need some technical help. Okay, so for one vendor 101, we, this is the address, and if you go over here you will find out what if you want any purchase order confirmation, you want to add any links over here, that you can do. Okay, but this is your workspace where you can instead of it, it shows actually the counts. Okay, what actually is the count. So now, and over here we have a settings part. Under here user options, you can manage your color of this particular dashboard. If it's like green, and this is the size. If you want to increase the size of your environment, normally I like the low size, so this is the one. Now, if there is a task recorder, if any uh, for a functional consultant, what is important for a functional consultant, you are going to see the standard process. Under the standard process, what happens? Under the standard process, you are going to, let's say for example you are showing your client how to make a purchase order, and you want to record that purchase order process, but where you are clicking, so you can use your task recorder. You have your mobile app also. If you want to cover if you want to create your own mobile app, that also you can create. Okay, and after creating you can publish it. Okay, we have in the standard, we have these mobile application. The once you click on the mobile application, it is not published. Once the published, you need to download your Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations under your mobile, and same actions you can do whatever is provided under the mobile app. Here under this you will have your about section, which will show you which product you are using, what is the product version, what is the update version. Normally on a daily basis, on quarterly basis, I think Microsoft is providing the updates that you can provide. Okay, now you have your user ID, login and logout. You when you work with the client, or you will get a application, a trial version from your from Archana as well. You can have your uh, user ID and password, that if with that user ID and password you use it. Okay, now you will see there is a USMF. You have separate different, if you click on the USMF you will get a list of all the companies. Okay, in Dynamics 365 for finance and operations we manage multiple companies. Okay, so if I go with D365 finance and operations, how we are going to start. So we will take an example of one implementation project. Under the implementation project we will have 5 companies, which we have to implement D365 finance and operations. Under these 5 companies, we are going to have uh, few processes. Like let's say, for example, we have procure to pay process enabled. Procure to pay process we will see. Then order to cash process we will see. Then inventory management we will see. Fixed assets we will see. Asset management we are going to see. Fixed assets okay, asset management okay, or and we are also going to see cash and bank management. So these are the few processes which we are going to see in the 5 companies. Okay, and these 5 companies are going to have their own consolidation, own chart of accounts. There will be one consolidation company. There will be one elimination company as well. Okay, so this is the basic requirement with the project which we are going to complete in our environment. Okay, so the, all the 5 companies will be able to do these processes, you know, and under these processes they will be able to do the intercompany transactions as well. Okay, so I will write the intercompany transaction. Don't worry, I will give in the details as well. Intercompany transaction. Okay, details also I will give whatever we are going to cover, but on a broader level we are going to cover all these processes. Okay, yeah, anything you want to say? Hello, hi Anil.
Hi, hi,
i
hi
I
everyone.
think you have joined right now.
Yeah, I joined just 5 minutes before. So
Okay.
I just
Yeah.
go back to that sheet, word sheet,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
please. You mentioned that intercompany transactions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you will be cover the setup part also for that.
Yeah, we in the intercompany transactions, all the 5 companies will be able to do a purchase order transaction. They will be
Yeah,
able to do
definitely.
a
But,
sales order.
so what topic will be covered for the intercompany transactions? So you
Hmm.
will be covered for the setup part or only the transactions part.
No, no, no. All the 5 companies will be new. Okay. From when I
Yeah.
say order to pay process, it will
Hmm.
start with means with any process. We will start with firstly the setup and configurations.
Hmm.
Then we will cover the
Okay.
master data preparation.
Hmm.
After the master data preparation, we will see the transaction and reports.
So and
Okay. So for
uh,
all the.
okay, fine. And for the consolidation, so sorry, actually I missed some part. So just
No, no.
ask for the thing. So chart
Mhm.
of account will be the same for all the companies.
Chart of accounts will be same. Yes. If you
Yes.
want to,
Okay.
if you means, but I will tell you, if few
Hmm.
companies have different chart of accounts, how you can manage it.
Okay. That is the setups on the maybe the on
On
the
the
GL card.
GL,
So
on the main account, yes.
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Please continue.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So we are covering one more module in one more process in all the whenever we are going with the project. So we will cover a project operations also. Okay, so project management and accounting, we will cover this also, project management accounting. Okay, and all the five companies will be able to view the revenue recognition module as well. Means they will be able to view the revenue recognition. Okay, so these are the basic processes which we are going to see in our project which we are going to implement. We will start with the case study only, and with that case study all the five companies will be able to cover these processes. Okay, now I will talk a few things about the certification part. Which certifications are there? Although we are going to cover MB 300, which is a basic certification for D365 Finance and Operations, it is required. It suggests how to create users, uh, how to navigate the system. Okay, such type of things, such type of questions you will find out in the MB 300. When means this is mandatory for all the developers or the consultants. Okay, functional or technical, the MB 300 is mandatory. Then we have a MB 310 certification, which is your finance certification, means who are going to work uh, uh, with the finance domain. Okay, then we have a MB 320, which is your supply chain certification, and then there is a MB 330. So these are the three certifications. Either of the three, mean 330 is mandatory, and this you need to cover up. Okay, and for the technical part, we have a MB 500, which we are not going to cover for this particular session. But yes, for the information purpose you should know that. Okay, therefore the technical part, these are the this is the certification. So these five certifications are there, and the last certification which you have, which is there for from the Microsoft side, it is MB 700, which is a solution architect level. Okay, so these are the certifications you have to cover. Although this certification will have your own uh, means whatever is there in these certifications, we will cover the topics of all. Okay, the finance and SCM we are going to cover in this particular module. So you will be able to handle all the finance plus SCM, and manufacturing also I will cover, but not in depth. Okay, that is not required, because if uh, there are few clients for the manufacturing also is there, but if you go into manufacturing in the master planning, we will cover. But if you want to go with the in depth of manufacturing, that for that you need to focus on the certification pathway. Okay, whatever the topics are covered. But yes, when I cover the finance and SCM module, this manufacturing will also be getting covered. Okay, then solution architect, you can go ahead, it is a theoretical based certification. Okay, so either of these two, means one is mandatory, this one is mandatory, and either of the three you can cover. Okay, so based on your uh, knowledge, based on your idea, and based on your preference also, you can cover. Now coming to the point of the D365 finance and operations, this is your application. Everything will you will do in this domain only, in this particular URL, in this particular website only. From the architecture level, yes, you should know few things. That at the backend we have a SQL. Okay, Microsoft SQL. If I go over here, I can show you that whatever the operations are there. Let's say for example, this is the all vendors, where the vendor list is there from which you are going to purchase any item. Okay, so this is the vendor, and these vendors, if I go over here, this is a Microsoft SQL server. On the Microsoft SQL server, we will have a database where all the data resides in it. Okay, so at the back end we will have a SQL server, we will have a AOS services, and then finally we will have a front end. Okay, so this is a core front end. We as a functional consultant, we are going to work on the front end part. Okay, for the technical part, they will write all their business logic in this AOS, and SQL is the last stage where all the queries are getting run, or where the data is getting stored. Okay, so you can see whatever is there in the vendors form, that you will be able to find out in the database section. Okay, so if I, no, sorry, not the new database, new query. You need not to worry about this particular SQL. If you don't know, that's fine, but this is just for understanding where our system is there, where our data is getting stored, that you should know. Okay, so let's start from vendor table. So this is your vendor table, the form which I have opened in front of you. Okay, so if I run this particular query, it will show me all the vendor details. Okay, so wherever the vendors are there, all the vendor details will come over here. Na? So what I want to say is this is a three-tier architecture system. Okay, as a functional consultants, we are going to work on the front end. If there is any, there are few documents which you are going to cover up. Okay, whenever a new requirement comes up or a new client is getting onboarded or you are going to do for a pre-sales activity, how a project is getting acquired. So let's say for example, Coke beverages in India, okay, want to implement D365 finance and operations. What will be the what will be the product, or how the approach will be there? So Coke India cannot directly go to Microsoft and say that we want to implement D365 finance and operations with you. Okay, what Microsoft will suggest few of the vendors. Let's say for example, service centers are there, right? Samsung will have a Samsung is located in South Korea, right? So, and if you are going to have your problem in your mobile phone of Samsung, you are not going to South Korea to correct your mobile phone, right? This is this particular repairing works with the different in different countries. They will have their separate service centers. Okay, so one service center will be in your area. The information you will get from the Samsung domain, Samsung organization, that okay, they will give you the service center. Let's say for example, I reside in Delhi NCR. So in the Delhi NCR, my pin code is 121002. So what will happen, they will show me five different service centers. Okay, five different service centers will be there. So, and whatever the technicians, whatever the technicalities are there, the service center guy knows. Okay, they are taking the knowledge from Samsung South Korea and they are sitting there to correct your mobile phone. Okay, if there is anything. So similarly, what Microsoft has done is, for any implementation, they have a separate region, they have a separate partners, we call it. Okay, so for the MS, few partners are there, like Infosys is one of the partner, you know? We have Textura is one of the partner. We have Olitech. These are the few partners. Okay, in North India. Then there is a JK Technosoft. All these are the partners of Microsoft, which directly deals with Microsoft. So Coke beverages will go to Microsoft, from where they will get a particular information that who will be your partner. So let's say for example, all these four are the partners whom Coke has approached. Okay, now with these with these we start with the pre-sales activity. A pre-sales activity gets started. In the pre-sales activity, what you give some demo, and after the demo you give some uh, what we call it, prototype. Okay, we call it as POC, proof of concept, that we design. After the demo, proof of concept, then you come up with a few documents. Okay, business, we give a final KT, uh, kickoff session will happen. Okay, this is not KT, KT is knowledge transfer. Kickoff session will happen. Kickoff session. After the kickoff session, what happens, you create a business document. We call it as FDD, functional design document. This document you will design, functional design document, functional design document. Then FRD will be created, functional requirement document. Then a technical design document, TDD, which will be covered by the technical team. Okay, so these are the user training document, UAT. Whenever you go for the UAT, you go for the user training document as well. So these are the few documents you are going to listen in your interview also, and in your day-to-day day-to-day work as well. Okay, and whatever is covered, what you are going to cover in these documents you are going to cover the standard process, what actually how the procure to pay process works in D365 finance and operations. And after the D365 finance and operations, how you are going to cover up in the requirement of business, what is the business requirement, what is the product is going to give you, and how much is fit, how much is gap. Okay, and if there is a gap, how you are going to cover it. So such type of detailed document you are going to create. And how, when you are going to create means how you can create it. You can create it only when you have a complete knowledge of the product. Okay, so when we are going with the classes, please beware. Means you can ask any question, okay, at the time, and I will try to cover up with everything with the use case only, so that it will be very easy for you. Now coming to the point is, let's say for example, we are going to implement a application for Titan. Okay, Titan is a watch organization, you know, watch watches. Okay, and they will have their presence in India. They started from India, now they are going to in US. They will have UK, they will have UAE. In UAE, the UAE, then they will have one organization in Australia. And these are the 5 countries we are going to cover. Okay, we are going to implement our D365 finance and operations in these 5 countries. Okay, now we are going to start with our discussion with the US. Okay, so US implementation. Because why I'm choosing US, there are few reasons for it. The sales tax one, which is already there in the system. Okay, and sales tax is there. So once you will learn the sales tax, then we will come to India GST and the Australia GST. Okay, that we are going to implement in after that. Okay, so first we are going to start our business with the Titan US. Okay, so only due to the tax reason I am taking Titan US. When you learn, when you are going to uh, implement the product, you can start with any one of them. Okay, and UAE will have a VAT system. UK is also having a VAT system. This is a VAT. US has a sales tax. India has a GST, and Australia has a GST. Over it, these are the 5 companies. Okay, how you represent companies in a real life? The name, with the name, right? Titan India. This can be your Titan US. Such type of names. But how a system recognizes it? And a system recognizes it with a legal entity. Legal entity. And in D365, we maintain the legal entity with a 4-digit code. Okay, it will be a 4-digit code. So what we will do, we will write TIN, okay, or T001. Normally we call it like this, है So US will be having T002, and UK will be having T003. This will be having T004. This will be having T005. And where is right now, if you go to the system, this is the 4-digit code. Okay, so we call it as legal entity, and you can see RURT, RUMF, MYMF. So when you take a development environment, or when you create a dummy database, na, so at that time you will get all these details. But in the live environment, when you go in the live environment, you will have only DAT. Okay, other than DAT, the DAT is a common company which is utilized for the consolidation purpose of standard application. But whatever we are going to cover, we will create a new legal entity. Okay, how to create a new legal entity? New legal entity will be created in one of the module, which is your organization administration module. Under the organization administration module, you will have a form called legal entities. Under the legal entities, you will have separate different legal entities. You will click on the new button, and over here you will write Titan US. You will give a code T00, to the 4 digits, so T001, and with the country code you are going to write it as USA, so United States. Click on OK. So this is your Titan US. We will fill our address. See, there are few forms which I want to show you. There is two different booleans. One is for financial consolidation and one is for elimination. So that means we are going to cover a different Titan consolidation. One company we will create with the T006, and one we are going to cover with the Titan elimination company. I will tell you in detail what actually is consolidation, what actually is elimination. So T007. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you how you are going to create the legal entity. Now we are going to implement first the T001. I think I have taken T001 as US, so I will take it as T001 as US. Okay, so we will implement a few things I want to tell you. See, there is a localized functionality region. How you are going to cover the localized functionality means for US we will have a separate. For example, in US we have a tax 1099 reporting. Okay, which contains all the vendor details, how much you have purchased from the vendor. That report you are going to your vendor, and that vendor will submit it to the government, US government, and based on that document they will take some rebate, है ना? So such type of functionality is not applicable in India. So how you are going to give this control to your users? So localized functionality region, detect using company address, you can say. Okay, or either you can give specific to your country. Detect using company address. If you see the address is US, so if you click on edit button, the address, it will cover up the US country region. You can add your zip code over here. If in the standard application they have the zip code, if not, you can create a new zip code also. Okay, so let's say for example street 2012 or street 2024 New York. So this is the address, city, and everything will be there. Click OK. Now after that you will have different tabs, and based on your requirement you will come over here. When we cover the taxation part, at that time we will come to registration IDs. We will give the registration IDs also, and because this is important for any taxation. Okay, so that's all I think. Yeah, now our T001 will one is created. If you see, if I go to all vendors, see, there is no vendor in it. Why there is no vendor? Because vendor data master, let it be start first. Yes. So see, there is no vendor. But if I go to USMF, if I go to USMF, which is a standard application, a standard legal entity, you will see vendors. But in T001, you are not seeing any vendors. Why? You are not seeing any vendors because vendor data, master data is a company specific data which you need to segregate from the access. I hope this is clear to you. Okay, now how we will start with our setups, how we'll start with our configuration. For that I will give you a document, a separate document I will give, but on a higher level I will tell you what we are going to cover. Firstly, we are going to cover the organization administration module. Okay, organization administration module. Then we are going to cover system administration module. For everything we will have a use case, means everything I will cover in a use case basis only. Okay, so I will provide in I will try to cover it with the Azure DevOps, where I will create a user story, and with that user story we will be covering everything. Okay, so I will give you a separate document for that. So organization administration, system administration module, and then we will cover the general ledger module. General ledger module. After the general ledger module is covered, we will cover the accounts, or sorry, item inventory, product information management module, product information. Then we will cover the inventory. No, we will cover the accounts payable module. I will write the shortcut AP. We will cover the AR module, accounts receivable, and after the account receivable, we'll go to the inventory management module. Inventory management module. Okay, after the inventory management module, we will cover the in between. I think I need, before the accounts payable module, I need some cash and bank also. So I will use the cash and bank management module. Okay, I will cover reconciliation also. Let me write it here only. We will cover the reconciliation also. both manual reconciliation and the advanced reconciliation as well. Manual and advanced reconciliation we will going to cover. Okay, so inventory management हो गया, and organization system general ledger, product management, APAR, inventory management. Then we will cover the FA module. We will cover the asset management module. Asset management module. After the asset management module, let me check. We will cover the revenue recognition module. We will cover the subscription module as well, and finally we will cover the project operations. Okay, and we will cover the basic manufacturing also in case if anyone wants to know. Okay, so these are the few modules we are going to cover in our T365 finance and operations. A detailed guideline, a detailed point to point basis I will cover with I will share with you. Okay, in the with Archana. So I believe that's all from my side. Any doubts, any query you have, you want to know from me, then you can ask right now. Yeah. Anybody has any questions?